Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and y'all don't be so quiet. This is a collaborative. So laugh with me, have fun, let's go for it. Well, okay, here's all my digits, but you can find me in the ecosystem anywhere you want to. So I have 5 rules for a Bob McCranie presentation. One, I talk fast, so listen fast or slow me down. Don't care which one is totally good for you. Laugh, let's have fun. This is not stressful. Don't get overwhelmed. Number 4, this is how I run my business. So if you had 5 other people on a presentation, you'd have 5 other opinions. So it doesn't make any one of us right. I'm a little more right than they are, but that's just me. And 5, if I'm sharing screens and you see something you disagree, if we're like on Facebook or Instagram and somebody posted something you don't disagree with and it's in my feed, just close your eyes. I can't control what comes up when we're live sharing. So if you see passwords or something, just ignore it. Okay, cool. Chase, good to see you here. Katie, you doing okay? Okay, Katie, you're looking really stressed right now. So I'm just like, just breathe. It's okay. So let's cover some basics. Okay, what is marketing? Okay, this is going to sound basic, but let's go with this. Putting a sign in front of a listing is advertising. By the way, ChatGPT made me this great banana realty sign. I'm going to put it on everything I can from now on and make Tom pay me a royalty. Okay, so putting a sign in front of your house is advertising. Okay, putting your logo on your car and sending out mailers is promotion. Okay, getting featured in a news report is publicity. Okay, doing Popeyes and holding client events is public relations. Presenting your listing and your buyer services to customers directly is the only time you're being salesy. Okay, that's the only time you're actually doing sales. So when somebody tells me I don't want to be salesy, it's only when you're presenting that you're being salesy. Putting the whole thing together is marketing. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so sorry about that. So that's marketing altogether. What is digital marketing? Alicia, I'll send the slides out. You don't. I love you taking a picture. I'm cute, but we'll get the slides here in a bit. Putting your logo and your link on your profile or doing online ads is advertising, digital advertising. Putting yourself and your listings in videos and running your website is promotion. Okay, getting featured in a podcast or a blog is publicity. Getting and responding to online reviews and comments is public relations. Important that you do this. Okay. Doing an online listing or buyer's presentation is the only time you're salesy. If you're doing an online listing for somebody, that's when you're being salesy. Putting that all together is digital marketing. Does that make sense? Because what I feel is we have people who use the terms interchangeably, and it's not the same thing. How many of you have told your coach, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to do this because, yeah, if you're not being salesy until you're actually presenting the listing presentation or the buyer's rep agreement. Okay, so you're not being salesy. You're just doing your other promotional things. Okay, so there are 2 streams of content we as realtors need to work on. One is, hi, I'm a realtor. I'm Jan. I'm a real estate agent. Jan, I don't know where you're from, but I'll just say in Des Moines. Jan, today you're from Des Moines and you're a real estate agent, and you have to always be putting out information about you being a real estate agent. The other thing we have to do is, I have a house for sale. I have a listing. I'm doing an open house. You have to do the 2 streams at the same time, and it's a little hard. There's 2 Jans. Oh, that's going to get confusing. So what we have to do is have kind of a split mindset on how we're doing our advertising. One is a constant, one is a pulse, and we'll cover that in a minute. Okay. So you are one product. Your homes that you're selling are another product. Does that make sense? Okay. What I find is that we focus on one of the products and not the other, to the detriment of the other side of our business. Okay. So let's look at the 4 M's. I'm sorry, the 4 P's of marketing. M's and P's are getting together here. We have our product. Product in stream 1 is ourselves. Product in stream 2 is our house. We can control the product that is ourselves. We can get better at our skills. We can do whatever improvement, coaching, things. We can make that product stronger. Yes. The house that we're selling, we can't necessarily go improve it. That's the house we're getting. Congratulations, it's in the condition it's in. That's what we're doing. So product We can control one side, but not the other. Price. We can control our price. We set our own commissions with your broker's consent. And that's, we can control the price of the product in column A. We can influence the price of product in B. We can talk to the owner and say, we think we should sell for this price or that price, but we cannot set that price. True? Okay. Then we have promotion. We can certainly have control over our own promotion as an agent, and we have control over promotion of the product base for the houses. That is wholly within our purview. Okay. And then we have place. We control the place that we serve. We control the place that we will drive to. Let's say, Jan, you're in Des Moines still, and you decide that you will do this area of town, but that side is too far. You can control the place. You cannot necessarily control the place of the house you're selling. So of the 4 Ps, in one stream, we do have control. In one stream, we have influence, but not full control. Does that make sense? Okay. So when you talk about the 4 Ps of marketing, it's product, price, promotion, and place. And when something isn't selling, we need to look at these P's and see which one is out of whack. Okay. In our world, a lot of times it's the price. We overmarket. The owner really needs to make X amount out of the house. So, we're going to price it up here. Great. That doesn't always help us. Okay. There's a saying in marketing, half the money I spend in marketing is wasted. The problem is I don't know which half. And it makes sense. That was especially true when all that you had for marketing was print ads, television, radio, and word of mouth. Okay? Because there was no feedback unless you ran polls, and that cost more money. In digital marketing, you have a lot more feedback and granularity. You will see how many people are clicking, how many times they're seeing the ad, how many impressions, things like that. So you have a little bit more dexterity over the ads in digital marketing than you would have had in print and traditional media from, like the 1980s and 1990s. Any questions so far? Does this make sense? Shaking heads, thumbs up. Okay. Okay. Digital marketing channels we need to be aware of. The first one is SEO, search engine optimization. This is the one that's been tried and true for many, many years. And that's working on your website, working on your keywords, working on your blogs, doing things that make your website shine out to the various search engines, mostly Google, that you have out there that you're working towards. Okay. Search engine optimization is something you may not do yourself, but somebody should be helping you with. The 2 new ones are generative engine optimization. Okay. That's getting in front of the LLMs. That's getting in front of, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Grok. Okay, we'll cover this in just a minute. Okay, those are important things to be doing. You can create content and you can go to those LLMs and talk to them directly and get them to talk about you. Okay, so, and then the next one is answer engine optimization. This is a newer one. Okay, answer engine optimization is getting yourself in the placement of those snippets. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And again, if you don't want to do this, hire somebody who knows how to do it and talk to them and let them help you. Okay. We also have the traditional social media marketing. Who's got a presence on, let's say, Instagram? Hands up if you're on Instagram. Okay. Who's got a YouTube? Anybody got a YouTube? Who's got Blue Sky? Okay. There are new social medias coming out there. As our country goes through struggles, which we won't go into on this call, there are new social medias popping up. There's Truth Social, there's Blue Sky, there's Substack. There are not a lot of people, Jan, you're still in Des Moines here, there are not a lot of people screaming about real estate in Des Moines on those new social media platforms. Get up and get under it before other people do. You can go on Instagram right now and try to launch your business in Des Moines. Good luck. There's other people already own that set of keywords and they're already rocking it there. But there are new social media platforms that are available to you. Pick whichever ones you want and go create an impact where there's a smaller pool, but you'll be a bigger fish. Okay. There's content marketing, which is your blogging. Who actually runs a blog? Anybody? Okay. Jessica, thank you. And Paul, of course. Okay. Email marketing. We should be having drip emails over our CRM. If you don't have your CRM in place, talk to your coach. Your CRM is your best asset. Okay, so we should have content marketing going through there. I'm sorry, email marketing. Affiliate marketing. That's your lender sends you somebody, or your inspector sends you somebody, or maybe you have made, good friends with the person who runs the Facebook group for your community, and they send you somebody as kind of a micro influencer. Your video marketing. Who's actively doing videos every week? Everybody's hand should be up. If you're not doing active videos every week, we got to get you onto that, okay? Now, sorry, I got somebody in the waiting room. Let me add them in. I think Paul maybe got to it first. Okay, and then mobile marketing. Mobile marketing is geographically, working with your phones. By the way, this is a $1,000 phone, not a $1,000 pager. It goes to your ear. We talk on it. I know the younger generation doesn't like to talk on the phone, but we got to get past that. So these are different types of digital channels we need to be aware of. Is everybody aware of these, or at least working, let's say half of them? Is anybody working less than half of them right now? Okay. You need to talk to your coach about these and figure out where your strengths lie, play to your strengths. If some of these are too far out for you, great. Let's focus on where we're strong and then slowly build in over the years. Okay, let's slowly build in. Hey, this year, coach, I want to work on my email marketing. Next year, I want to work on my answer engine optimization. Your coach can help you through that. And if they don't know something, reach out, because somebody in this ecosystem does know. But you may take this, the engine that got you to where you are today will not get you to where you're going. Tom will tell you that multiple times. And your coach can get you there, but it's going to take, 6 to 12 months to get some of these implemented. Okay. Because we have to do repetitions and we have to build. Okay. Now, this is kind of a cool little graph. By the way, if you don't know Napkin AI makes these great little infographics that you can use. They're so cool. Okay, so we talked about search engine optimization, focused on your traditional website, getting the crawlers to crawl your site and to report you in for Google and Bing and what are the other ones? Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, those different, search engines that are out there that you can get your site listed in. Answer engine optimization aims to get direct answers to specific snippets that people ask. Okay, it's a different way of doing it, and there's a way you can put your site together that will make you show up hopefully in those answers. Generative engine optimization optimizes content for the different AI models, which are your Claude, Grok, Gemini, and ChatGPT. Okay, there are 4 of them. Retrieval augmented generation. This is a new one. I'm not even going to cover it today, but just you'll hear people refer to RAG, RAG. Don't even worry about it today. You don't need to think about it, but it's out there. And then fine tuning is a version of RAG that is well beyond what we're going to talk about in this class today. But I want you to know these terms because you're going to start hearing them more and more, and you'll be like, oh my God, what was that? Bob talked about it. Okay. So I'm giving you a little bit extra that you don't need today. So search engine optimization. Who's done any SEO work on their website? Who's got a website, first off? Okay. Who's done any SEO work on their website? Okay, we got to work on that. This is critical. Okay, these are legacy systems. A website is a passive lead source because you don't know when somebody's going to get on there. Active lead sources are nose to nose. We're having an active conversation right now. A passive lead source is something somebody can find today, tomorrow, or 9 months from now. Okay, that's going to be something like your website. So passive lead sources build legacy. Active lead sources pay off faster. Okay. So anything that's nose to nose will pay off faster. Anything that's a passive will pay off and legacy and build up your name and recognition and stuff like that. So these are traditional SEO things. And this, when you do SEO, you're going to end up in the search results, and you're also going to end up in the map pack. If you typed in best realtor in Des Moines, Jan could come up and she would be listed there. If somebody else is from Des Moines, I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you, I should. But that's where you're going to show up if you're doing good SEO. Okay. Now we've got your answer engine optimization. Okay. This is where you have to have your content set up so that it's the answer to questions. If there's a website called Answer the Internet, I believe, Paul, is that right? Answer the Internet or Answer the Web. Sorry?
Answer the public.
Answer the Public. Thank you. I knew I wasn't quite right, but I knew you'd have it. So Answer the Public was going to give you a list of questions people are asking. If you wrote blogs that answered those, then you have a chance of showing up in the snippet that could come up when somebody asks a question. So instead of typing in best real estate agent Dallas Fort Worth, you could type in who is the best real estate agent in Dallas Fort Worth, and it's going to give you an AI overview. Okay, versus just giving you a list that was the search engine results, it's going to try to interpret for you. You could show up that way. Okay, and then generative engine optimization is where you don't really type in the question into the search engine. You go to your ChatGPT, this is happening a lot. Okay, people will go into ChatGPT and say, I have a home to list in Topeka, Kansas. Okay, and Chase, right now you're going to be from Topeka, and it's going to say, oh my God, we know about Chase in Topeka, and Chase, Chase should be the person. They will, if you go into the search engine and ask them, you'll get one set of results. If you go into the ChatGPT or the large language models, you get a different set of results, which is why we need to be telling all 4 of those large language models about our business. Okay, I run a class that I call Hello, My Name Is, and we go through this introductory series of questions that we go into each of the large language models and we answer so that they know about us so that they can refer us out. Okay? So this is when I put into I used Gemini, who is the best real estate agent in Dallas Fort Worth, and it gave me a list of people. Am I grumpy that my name's not on here? Yeah, but okay, that's just it's how it's doing today. So it's different between searching in a search engine. Best real estate agents Dallas Fort Worth gets you a list. Who is the best real estate agent in Dallas Fort Worth gets you an AI recommendation. Going into an LLM and asking gets you a whole different group of data. And we have to show up for all 3. Okay? We had the opportunity, I should say, to show up for all 3. And if this is too confusing for you right now, that's fine. I get it. Talk to your coach, let your coach break it down for you. Okay? Okay. Understanding digital customers. Who here has ordered anything off Amazon? I think every hand is going to go in there. And it's Christmas, so guess what? It's time to order more. Digital consumers are always connected. Okay? From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed, they're on their phones, they're connected. Okay? They are information savvy. They value convenience and speed, which means if you have a slow website, you do not have a website. And if you need somebody to help you kind of audit your website and see how you're doing, sign up. I'll sit here and give you 30 minutes of time looking at your website. They expect personalization. They don't want to go website and just say, welcome to my website. They want to say, hey, Brian, how are you doing? Welcome back to our website. Okay, so that'll be something they want is personalization. Influenced by social proof, meaning they want to be sure that you're good. So they're going to look at your reviews and they're going to look at your different different things that you post. They're going to look at everything that they can to find out if you're legit. Okay. They're multi-channel and multi-device. Just like I held up my phone and it doesn't really show in the Zoom because I'm on the thing here. The phone, the laptop, the tablet, they're on multiple different devices and they're looking at you from your social media, from your search engine, from your LLM. They're looking at you from multiple perspectives, okay? They have a very short attention span. I've already lost half of you in the first 3 minutes because we just don't have an attention span anymore because we're watching 30-second videos and swiping. We're not focusing on things anymore, okay? They're privacy conscious. Who's heard of DuckDuckGo? DuckDuckGo is a browser that does not follow you, okay? If you type in raincoats on one site, you're going to see raincoats on every site for the next 30 minutes if you're using Chrome, because it's tracking you and showing you all the raincoats you could buy. If you do that on DuckDuckGo, it does not track you. Okay. And a lot of, I think, newer iPhones also have privacy features in there. And they're experience oriented. They want to know that somebody not just got the product, but they enjoyed the product. They not only, got the house they loved. Gina was an amazing agent and Gina made them feel really good. They want the experience of working with Gina. They want to understand what that's going to be like. So they need to have experience-oriented content. Okay. When you're asking, who's asking for people for reviews on your Google profile? Who's actually given them the paragraph they want posted? Okay, good. Jessica, fabulous. Go to the head of the class. If you can say, could you highly recommend me? Could you say what it felt to work with me? Could you give them an experience that was good, that happened? That would be lovely because that's experience-based marketing. Okay? Many small to medium enterprises do not plan beyond day-to-day survival. Most small businesses do not plan beyond day-to-day survival. Right now, we're going through business planning for 2026. Who's worked on the business plan in Tom Ferry already? Who needs to? Okay, so you need to be planning for what you're going to do in the next new year. Now, 2026 is going to be much different than 2024, much different than 2022. Yes? Okay, so we have to be able to pivot and do things. Who was in Tom Ferry world when COVID came out? Like March, April of 2020, we had this thing called pivot, and we just took the whole system and went different with it because we were able to get ahead and carry people through that whole crisis because we pivoted and we did something different. We have to respond to changes in the market, and we have to be ahead of everybody else changing. So this is important. Okay, 72% do not take any action in response to future trends or crises. And right now, let's not talk about crises. Let's talk about future trends, which is the new way of doing marketing. So we need to be responsive to this. Sending out a postcard is great. Door knocking is great. They still work. Open houses are great. They still work. But there's a new way of doing things, and we need to be open to them and moving forward with them. Okay? So let's talk about one of my favorite classes that I love to do, brand strategy and tactics. Okay? There's a brand at the top of your business. What is your brand? Okay. What is it that it goes to why they would work with you, who you are as a real estate agent, who you are in your town. What is your brand? Okay. Under your brand, you're going to develop strategies. Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the strategies feed the brand. The tactics go under the strategies. Okay. And they're aimed at different personas. So hypothetically, if you do an open house, that's a tactic. If you send out a postcard, that's a tactic. If you have a website, it's a tactic. But each of the postcard, the open house, and the website have to be aimed at a strategy, which let's say it's new home construction in Topeka. Chase, you're doing new home construction in Topeka. Okay, so the strategy is to get new home construction. How does that feed your brand? Well, my brand is that I help develop wealth for my clients as they're moving up the property ladder. So your brand is about developing wealth. The strategy is to get new home buyers into their first property. And some of those tactics will be sending postcards to the apartment complexes, doing new home seminars, and maybe you're doing open houses in new home communities. I'm just coming up with stuff off the top of my head here. Okay. So if you don't have your brand established and you're just throwing tactics at the wall, it's not serving the larger business. It's not serving the larger business. Okay. Does Coca-Cola have a brand? Does Mercedes-Benz have a brand? If I said I drove a Mercedes, would you have some, which I don't, would you have some presumptions about me as maybe my affluence, maybe my taste level, maybe, whatever? Would you have some opinions about that person knowing they drove a Mercedes versus they drove a Toyota? Which, by the way, I'm much more of a Toyota person, that you would have that brand and you'd know, and they each have strategies and tactics. But what I think most agents are doing is they're just throwing tactics up. They're doing the open house, they're doing some phone calls, they're doing some things, but they don't have a unified brand that it goes towards. People will want to work with you if they know what you represent and who you are as a business. If you don't have that where you can enunciate it, you need to work with your coach on that. Tom will call it unique selling proposition. You can call it whatever you want to, but it really goes to your brand. Okay. Now, any questions on that? Are we good? Okay. These are different things you can do as different tactics. Some of them create awareness. Some of them create purchase intention. Some of them are more emotional. Some of them are more rational. If you put out a guide to, let's say, home buyer guide, that's going to be rational education and it's raising awareness. Okay. If you do community forums, that's more towards purchase intention and it's going to be more emotional because you're engaging with them in person. Okay. If you're doing, let's say, webinars, that's going to lead more towards purchase intention and it's going to be a convenience because you're actually coming to them online and they're going to want to just, they're not having to go out of their way. They're just sitting in front of their screen watching it. Okay. But if you're asking for reviews, that's inspiring. That's a purchase intention thing because people want to see how you did in the past and it's more emotional. Oh, she felt this way about Leisha. I want to feel that way too. I want to work with her. Okay. So as you're looking at your tactics, think about what your appeal is. Is it going to be more purchase intention or awareness? Is it going to be more educational or, I'm sorry, emotional or rational? And these all fit into different sections that you can use. And you want to be sure that you're covering everything because there are 4 personality types. If you have not read the Social Styles Manual, Social Styles Handbook, excuse me, you need to. Social Styles Handbook, write that down if you have not read it. But you want to be kind of getting your marketing out to different groups of people. And these are different things you can do. By the way, you'll get these slides, so don't worry about taking pictures. So there are 3 types of media that we have as businesses. Okay, we have our owned media. Owned media is things we physically own. That's our postcards we send out. Those we own those. Okay, we own our website. We own our social media channels. We own the signs in the yard. We have complete control over the owned media. The message is completely ours, and we control where it goes and how much and what we do with it. Yes? Then we have our paid media. Paid media is like our Google ads. If you're still doing print ads in the paper, things like that, God bless you. If you're doing, like the park bench or the cart in the grocery store, whatever ads you're doing, you control that message. You control hopefully the costs, and you have absolute authority over that. The last one is earned media. We do not own our earned media. Earned media is our reputation. It's what people say about us. Now we can influence it, but we cannot own it because that's what other people say once we've interacted with them. Okay? Earned media, I think, is probably more important than the other 2. Just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think what people say about us is more important than the message we put out sometimes. Who's watched an influencer just go down in flames because they're putting out a message, but everybody's canceling them and talking about them, right? That can happen because their earned media is outweighing what they own or what they pay for. Yes? Okay. So when we're looking at earned media, I want you to think about this. Now, this is going to make sense in just a minute. There's 2 slides. Stick with me here. Who's old enough that you bought everything that you had on records, cassettes, CDs, and your uncle had the 8-track tape player, and you bought every band you liked on all 4 of these mediums? Yes? Am I the only fool who did that? Thank you. Thank you for owning it. I had everything I loved on records, and then everything went to cassette because I wanted to drive in my car. And then everything went to this new thing called CDs. And so I bought all my new stuff in CDs. And your crazy uncle has everything on 8-track, right? Your grandma had the player that played all 4. Your grandma had this player that would play all 4 formats, right? I want you to think of these large language models that way. Okay? ChatGPT is owned by OpenAI, which has heavy funding from Microsoft. Gemini is fully owned by Google. Okay? Claude, it gets money from Salesforce, Amazon, and partly from Google. And Grok is owned by the people who run X, Elon Musk company. Perplexity plays all 4 of them. Perplexity itself does not have the music, but it plays all 4 formats together and gives you an answer. Okay? These 4 here contain the data. Perplexity takes the data from all 4 and changes it around and makes it cohesive. You can get the same answer. You can get answers from all 4 of these, or you can use Perplexity that brings them up. I know Tom is heavy right now on Perplexity. I'm heavy right now on Claude. Totally up to you. Whichever format you prefer, listen to the music that you like. Does this metaphor make sense? Okay, good. And you have to be a certain age to know what an 8-track tape player is. So thank you all for not leaving me hanging out here as the old guy. But this, I think, is a good way to understand the difference between what Perplexity does, where it takes all 4 of those formats and comes up with the answers from all 4, versus going to one of them and getting the answer set from each of those. Okay? Now, we need to be doing work on these 4 so that they know about us. And that gets back to that class I was talking about, the hello, my name is, and you tell it all about your business and what you're doing. This is all earned media. This is all earned media because you want these 4 to say, Katie is the best agent. Katie, right now, I'm going to put you in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know where you are, but congratulations, Katie. You now have a new brokerage in Phoenix. And you want to be able to say, Katie is the best agent in Phoenix because Katie's gone out and told them about them. Does that make sense? Katie's confused as to why I moved her to Phoenix right now, but I apologize. Think of these
Hey,
4.
Bob,
Yeah.
are you saying that we need to try to optimize all 4 of these channels?
I'm saying you need to go to each of these channels and talk about yourself and your business and how you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. Jessica, where are you from? Which
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Fort Collins, Colorado. So you need to go on and talk about how many sales you've had, how you're doing with the clients. Don't give identifying information about the client, but like, hey, I sold this great house to this person. They moved to Fort Collins. It's been wonderful. We worked with them. They had a struggle on the deal, but we made it work. By the way, I've been in business since how long have you been?
2000.
2000. And I have how many five-star ratings do you have?
35, I think. I just
And
had to start it all over.
how many homes have you sold since 2000 roughly?
Oh gosh. Hundreds.
Okay, well,
I
you
don't know.
come up with a number. You're going to
Yeah.
give all of that to it, and then every couple of weeks you're going to go back in and update it. Think of these
Okay.
these these large language models as four ants who love you. These ants bake you pies at the holidays. You sit down with coffee with them and tell them because they're going to go back to Bunko and tell all their friends to use you as an agent.
So
You want to,
you're using your own information while asking questions in each of these platforms so that it
yes.
remembers you.
Yes.
Okay.
And one thing you can do is when you type in and there's a script that I have for that. You at the end of that script, after it says, "Oh my gosh, Jessica, thank you for telling us all about Fort Collins, Colorado," you're going to type in, "Ask me 10 questions, one at a time, so that you get to know me and my business better." And you're going to answer those
Mm.
questions not with one or two words. You're going to answer it with three or four sentences. If you turn on the microphone, you can give it three or four paragraphs because we all talk more than we type. At the end of those 10 questions, it's going to be knowing a lot more about you. So what we do is we take that "hello, my name is" script and those 10 questions and we take it out of ChatGPT and we go to Gemini. And we say, "Hello, Gemini. This is who I am. Here are 10 questions that Chat asked me. Ask me 10 new questions." And we keep layering those over. And eventually all four of these ants know a lot about us and they go back and talk about us. Okay. And we have a chance of showing up as a great agent in Fort Collins.
Okay.
Make
Hey
sense?
Bob, can I ask a technical question on that?
Sure.
Um, as an only child till I was a teenager, I don't like to share much. And in my LLMs, I have my sharing turned off. And so more of a private type of chat. So I'm not sharing with the public for the training under the LLMs. Does that prohibit this type of connection?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
So your recommendation would be to leave the sharing on
For
for
this feature, for this chat, I would turn it back on. You can turn it on by chat.
you can turn it on by chat.
Yeah, in each of the chats, you can decide whether it's on or off.
Yeah, I mean, I have mine. I mean, I use it so often that I just have everything as private and not sharing for learning purpose.
Do you have a different Gmail or something you could use?
Hmm. Okay. I see where you're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Cool.
only child thing, I mean, that sounds like a different day of therapy, but I'd love to be in that class. That'd be fun. So we have to choose between what is private and what is not. It will never come back and say, "Paul told us this, that, and the other." It'll come back and say, "Paul's a great agent in Raleigh, North Carolina. Paul is, if you're looking for a listing agent in Fort Collins, call Jessica." It will not say, "Jessica told us the body is in the freezer." It'll just say, yeah, the body's not in the freezer, I hope. But the point is that it will not come back and directly quote you. It'll say, "We know somebody who's good." Okay. So there's some privacy issue there, and you need to decide what you're happy about. But you want these four to start talking about you because just like you've got your website out there, you probably don't have your website turned off so that nobody ever crawls it. That's a public facing thing. These will be public facing dialogues that you're having that could help you really, you know, get your business up and going or for going further.
Do you have a
Anybody else have questions?
do you have a script that you could share with us, or is that something that's in just for your class?
It's for the class, but if we have time at the end, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Okay, I think you've sat in on that class before, but maybe not.
Did I also see this in the production tracker that you just sent out? Did you have this layers of
I
questions?
did. I did. Do you want to see that? Let me get through these slides and then
Sure.
at the end we'll pull that out. Yeah, and if you don't have the production tracker, I know Coach Paul has it and I have it. There's a new tab this year for AI integration, AI projects. And it's got a script writing. prompt writing script, so script writing prompt, excuse me. And it's also got the hello, my name is chat in there as well. Okay. So Chase, was that you?
Oh, do I have sound? Oh, I do. I'm seeing it in the tracker, and I was like, oh.
That was probably the most random sound, but thank you for that. That's we needed that at that moment. So this is something that you get that I got from my master's class. It's a little confusing, but it's the customer journey. This is how people find you. Okay? They're going to find you probably at first through an earned media source. They may find you through an owned media, but mostly it's going to be earned. Hey, who do I use in this area? Who do you know? If you're looking for a doctor, you would go look at their reputation. You would look at you'd ask a friend maybe, who do you use? This is going to be probably your earned media. Throughout this journey, they're going to go through your earned media, your paid media, and your owned media to get to you. If you control this journey better, you can control whether or not they close faster. You can control whether or not they're the right agent. You're the right agent for them. Because yes or yes, you are not the right agent for everyone. Okay? If they're just going to kick the tires for 5 years and not buy a house, you're not the right agent for them. So what you put out is important. And if you have questions about that, ask your coach. Okay? Your logo is important, but your logo is not your brand. Okay, this gets back to branding. Your logo is not your brand. It should reflect your brand, but it's not your brand. Okay, don't, please, for the love of God, stop doing rooftop logos. Every realtor out there has a rooftop in their logo. Brian, I'm looking at you right now. Having a rooftop, everybody has a rooftop, and find something unique and different. I did have a rooftop logo for a while for my company. I went to Summit. I picked up about 500 cards, and most of them had rooftops. And I went back and changed the whole company because I was like, I can't be like everybody else. Okay, define your message. Okay, define your purpose. Every campaign has to have a message and a purpose. If you send a postcard out and it's a just listed postcard, the message is, I have a listing. Okay? The message is, I have a listing, and the purpose is I want you to know that, not because I think you're going to buy that listing, but I want you to list with me later. So everything should be authentic to your brand. Okay? Don't send out something that doesn't reflect who you are, Gina. Don't send out something that isn't about really who you are as a core person, that doesn't represent you. Okay? Who remembers New Coke versus Classic Coke? I mean, they just broke their whole brand by doing the wrong thing. Okay? Be consistent. If you're going to send out one postcard, I don't think you should send out just one. Send out 20. Be consistent in your marketing. Okay? Don't just, if I do one sit up, do I have abs? If I do one sit up, I set up 7 times this week in bed. Once a day I set up in bed. I should have 7 abs by the end of the week, right? That's how it works. No, I have to do repetitions. Okay, I don't even think you can have 7 abs. And then emotional appeal. Everything needs to have some sort of emotional appeal. Some people buy by logic, but most people buy by emotion. Who has shown somebody the perfect house for them and they've gone, no, I just don't feel it. I don't feel it. Something's not right. And then you show them a different house and they're like, oh my God, I fell in love with, because something grabbed them emotionally. So it has to have emotional appeal. Okay, so this gets to the 4 different styles of advertising we can do. First style is blitzing. You're everywhere all at once, and then you go away. One of the best blitzes I've ever seen is Wicked. Okay, I don't know if you love the movie or hate the movie, doesn't matter. They are everywhere all at once, and then they're going to go away. And it's just an amazing blitz campaign. The next thing we have is continuity. There's just this constant hum, like the Charmin Bears. There's no blitz for toilet paper, thank God. But they're always just there in the background, the little Charmin Bears. You probably ignore the commercial as you're walking to get more coffee or whatever, but they're always there, ever present, and you just notice that they're part of your world. But it's just this low-level hum. Then you have kind of a flighting. It's twice a year, 3 times a year. They're going to come back with Toyotathon was my thought for this. We're going to blitz for a while, and then we're going to go away. And then we're going to come back a little bit later and do it again. Okay, so it's this kind of flighting situation. Pulsing is more frequent. Flighting is just occasional. And as real estate agents, we're really doing this one here. Okay, we have a constant hum in the background. The McDonald's is always there, but McRib is back, and then McDonald's is still here, and then they have this new whatever thing they're doing. McDonald's does really good with having just that hum in the background and a pulse. That's us as real estate agents. That's what I was trying to say early, is that we have this hum in the background that Cassandra, you are a real estate agent. And then every once in a while, Cassandra's going to be like, I got a house to sell. And we have to keep both of these maintained at the same time. Does that make sense? We have to have both of these going. And if we don't, if we focus only on our houses and we don't focus on us as a real estate agent, that's not great. And we focus on us as a real estate agent and we don't try to sell the house, our sellers are going to be pissed off. So this is what I think models real estate the best. Okay, little role play here. And if you know this answer, you can yell it out later. It took TV 38 years to get to 50 million people. Radio, 38 years. It took TV 13 years to get to 50 million users. It took the internet 3 years to get to 50 million users. It took Facebook 1 year to get to 50 million users. It took Twitter 9 months to get to 50 million users. Who do you think got there faster than Twitter?
AI.
YouTube.
Angry Birds, 35 days. 50 million users in 35 days. Now, who beat Angry Birds? Pokemon Go. The reason I bring this up is your best content has not been written yet, and your best platform has not been invented yet. Your best content has not been written yet, and your best platform has not been created yet. We think we know everything about the internet. We're in all this, go. We don't even know yet what's next. If they can get to 50 million users in 19 days, by the way, that was during the pandemic when we had nothing to do, and we go out and find these, I didn't do it myself, but these Pokestops and all sorts, we don't even know what's coming down the road. This is important that we stay in an ecosystem where we get to the next thing and we get to it faster than everybody else. But if Pokemon Go can do it in 19 days, who's going to do it in 10? And how fast do we get on that train and get ahead of everybody else? Okay. Pretty soon we're going to be able to buy a house on Twitter or on TikTok or on Facebook. Okay. The history of social commerce. Who's bought anything off TikTok Shop? Anybody bought anything off TikTok Shop? Okay. All these social media channels want to have you shop within the channel and not go off to Amazon or one of the larger sites. So they're going to start offering things for sale within the channel. That may be the next thing we do. Who knows? Who's seen the sales funnel? Every hand should go off of this. Who's seen top of funnel is awareness. I have to get your eyes. Oh my God, look at me. I got to get you to pay attention. After I get your eyes, I have to get your ears. I have to say something interesting. I have to engage with you. I've got you to look at me. Now I need you to pay attention to me. Okay. Then you make a decision. Jan is kind of like, well, he's kind of funny and he goofy looking and he said something kind of, maybe I'll trust him. The decision level is trust. Have I done enough for you to trust me? Okay. Then they become a client. We actually do the things that realtors do. We do showings, we write contracts, we try to get your house listed. We're at Green, we're just working it. We're actually finally being realtors. We don't get paid till blue. We are a volunteer until fulfillment, which is the best words in real estate, closing and funding. Okay. And then we have retention, and we hope that they bring their friends back from this level up to prospect and save us the money of getting people up at the awareness level. To get a new client costs between 5 to 25 times more, I believe, than retaining a client, which is why you better have a damn good retention program built into your CRM and stay in front of people rather than them drifting off and going to another agent later. Okay? Your social media will help you with awareness, interest, and retention. Your social media helps you with awareness, interest, and retention. Your website helps you with all the levels. So you better have a damn good website with a CRM attached that gets all the levels working, okay? And then your social medias need to be focused on those websites. Your social medias have to force people to those websites. And I will tell you, Facebook and YouTube are much better at converting than Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts, because Facebook and YouTube allow you to put a live link back to your website in the post. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, hey, go in my profile and find the link. People don't tend to go in the profile and find the link. You can't put a live link in those three platforms. Now, am I saying abandon those three? Absolutely not. They're fabulous for what they do. But if you want conversion back to your website, Facebook, YouTube, are the best ones for me. I also use Google Maps, and I'll show you that in a different class if you want. Okay. Last thing I'm going to touch on here. There are 4 personality styles that are outlined in the Social Styles Handbook that I mentioned before. If you don't have the Social Styles Handbook, write it down in order today. It's a very small book. It's a fast read. They talk about analytical personalities. Analyticals love charts and graphs. They won't start a project till they can figure out where it's going to end. They've got iterations and thoughts. They get into analysis paralysis because they got to keep thinking of all the iterations of what could happen. Okay? Drivers. Drivers are direct to the point. They walk in, they tell you exactly what's going to happen, and then they walk out the door and you're like, damn, he was rude. No, he just didn't have time to talk. He was driving and he was moving on. Okay. Expressives, we love to talk. Oh my God, I love catching up with you, Gina. Let's order some more wine. I want to hear all about your family, how they're doing. Let's just sit around. I need to catch up with you. And then amiables. Amiables just want to be loved. They're like, I don't know, wherever you want to go is fine. Let's just go and have everybody together. They want to be hugged. And then we love amiables. They're very friendly. They don't like conflict. If they're mad at you, they'll tell their friend to tell you that they're mad, but they don't want to have the conversation themselves. Okay? And that's fine. All 4 of these personalities are in the world, and we need to know how to modulate ourselves to meet them. Think about these social media channels being aimed at different personality types. We shove everybody at Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You may be really good at Pinterest. You may be really good at Substack. You may be really good at one of these other channels that are not necessarily fitting your personality type. Think about that and going to one of those other channels and being an amazing presence there. Okay? I'm not an Instagram person myself. It just doesn't appeal to me. I'm a Facebooker because I love to talk. And Facebook is a conversation engine. Okay, so think about the sites you're using. Also, in CRS, who's got their Certified Residential Specialist designation? Anybody? They have a very similar, thank you, Paul. They have a very similar structure, not quite Social Styles Handbook, but you have your socially conscious buyer who will buy a home if it matches their socially conscious stance, like solar panels or certain sort of water retention, whatever. Achievers want a house that nobody else can own. They want to be gated community, golf course. They want to let you know that they've got something that you can't have, and it's no, the houses look the same. They're all unique. Emulators are going to live in the mixed use community. They want to kind of seem like they're achievers, but they're not yet. They've got the slickest car, they've got the best watch, they've got the great stylish clothes, but they're not living where they think they're going to be eventually. And then belongers are very much like amiables. They just want to be in the traditional community. They want to, be near the parks and the churches and the schools, and they want to have everybody over at Thanksgiving and just give everybody a hug. Okay? Think again about these social media channels and where they belong in this group. When you're selling a home that fits one of these categories, put it on the social media channel. Those categories will be found. If you're selling an achiever house, don't put it on TikTok. Put it on Twitter or X or whatever they call it today. Put it on LinkedIn. Put it on a place where an achiever will see it. If you're selling a traditional neighborhood that, everything, 5 floor plans and they built it in the 1970s, put it where belongers are going to love it. Think about how you're using your social media and how you're selling your houses and who you are as an agent, and advertise to your strengths. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Any questions?
Found it interesting that YouTube showed up in 3 of those 4.
And YouTube is versatile in that way. Yeah. And somebody could challenge me on those and say, well, I don't think that one really fits there. Okay, that's fair. There's no science behind this. This is just my idea of how these work. Any questions?
I love that because it's essentially targeted marketing, right? Who is your house ideal for, and make sure to target them and where they're at.
Exactly. Because, I think as coaches and as people, we tend to go where the population is, which right now, if you look at the stats, is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You may be really good at something else. How many people on this call right now are left-handed? Anybody else? Okay. Oh, Cassandra, thank you. We don't force left-handed people to be right-handed anymore, do we? We used to. 100 years ago, you would be, your left hand would be tied behind you. You got to learn to do. No, we don't do that anymore. We should not force evening people to be morning people. We should play to their strength. We should not force people to get onto a social media platform that isn't necessarily their type. We should embrace where they're strong at and encourage that growth there, is my opinion. Okay? I think that everybody has their natural strengths. We should accentuate them. We can challenge them with new things, but we shouldn't break them into being right-handed. And I think that's a lot of times what happens and why people don't mesh with what they're being told, because it's not something that they would necessarily be able to do easily. If I try to write right-handed, you're never going to read it. Frankly, left-handed isn't that great anymore because I don't write enough. But that's another day of therapy, as we said. Who else has got questions? Did I miss anything in the chat?
No.
Okay.
Can you share can you share the hello, my name is script with us, or is that a different class? Brian asked.
It's a different class, but I'll give you a preview of it. How's that?
Sure. And since we are in business planning mode and discussing things like budget, there was a lot that you covered here, so I think it's worth just kind of going over what should the budget be for a realtor to do all these things? What should the target be in percentage?
I think it's more of a sweat equity than a check equity. I think if you have the time to put into it, you can be quite successful. I'm not sure that I personally would hire somebody right now for this.
Lost you there for a second. You would personally hire someone for.
I don't think I would personally hire somebody quite yet. I think there's a lot of blinker fluid in this. And people are telling you, oh, I know A&I and this, and they don't know what they're doing with it. I don't think everybody knows what they're doing yet. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. So it's going to start off with, can you see that?
Yes.
It's going to start off with, hello, my name is. Now, by the way, you're going to type all this in before you hit enter. I'm a real estate agent in. I work for, put the brokerage there so that anything it writes is branded. Okay? Because we have to mention in our brokerage by code of ethics and by state license acts. I've been in business since. On average, I sell. How much do you sell usually each year? People hire me because, by the way, this is the line that people freeze on and they stop because they don't know why people hire them, because they haven't defined their unique selling proposition. I specialize in move-up buyers, military moves. What is it that you do that nobody else really focuses on? I'm passionate about. And pick something that you're passionate about in real estate, not just, like I love cooking Italian food, which is great, but, just something about real estate. My website can be found at, my phone number is, my email is, my reviews can be found at, and put a link to your reviews. Better yet, go grab those reviews and have them in a text file and put them in. My goals for my clients would be that my clients always make money when they sell their house 5 to 10 years later. Okay, I'm most active on these social networks, and you don't have to put the link, but just say where you are, and you hit enter. And it's going to come back and say, hello, Jessica, it's great to meet you. Thank you for telling me all about, it's in Colorado. Shoot. Anyway, wherever you
Collins.
said, Fort Collins, Colorado. Thank you. I knew it was Colorado. I couldn't get there. So it's going to say, thank you for that. Now, Jessica, what you type in after this is, ask me 10 questions, one at a time, so you get to know me and my business better. You're going to answer all 10 of those questions, okay? And when you do that, you're going to answer all 10 of those questions in ChatGPT. And at the end of those 10 questions, by the way, each of those questions, you're going to give it 3 to 5 sentences minimum. You're going to take that hello, my name is script, copy it, go to Gemini, and you're going to paste it in so you don't have to retype it. Gemini is going to go, hello, Jessica, thank you so much for telling me this. Then your next prompt will be, here are 10 questions that ChatGPT asked me, send. Ask me 10 new questions one at a time so you get to know me and my business better. Guess what we're doing next? We're going to go to Claude. We're going to copy and paste in that hello, my name is. Claude's going to say, hello, Jessica, thank you. You're going to say, here are 10 questions from chat plus 10 questions from Gemini that I want you to have. Ask me 10 new questions. And when it asks you those 10 new questions, you're going to take those over to Grok. And when you're done with this, Grok will have 40 questions. By the way, take 2 of those questions every day, put them into your Google Business profile as Q&A, and put the answers in there, because there's content. At the end, you're going to take the 10 and backfill the ones that don't have it. Because at the end of the exercise, Grok has 40, Claude only has 30. So take the 10 back from Grok, take the rest of them and put them back into all 4. So you're crossing the streams, which we know from Ghostbusters, you never cross the streams. we're going to cross the streams. And that way, because you will tell something to Claude that you didn't think to tell to ChatGPT. It's going to ask you a different question, so you'll have a different answer. Backfill all 4 of them. Okay? After you're done with this, what I love to do is have Claude write the biography, because I think Claude does the best writing. Ask Claude to write you a biography. By the way, it does things called artifacts. And this is something we can go into in the next class. It'll do artifacts, which means Claude's going to publish it for you. Oh my God, Claude's going to put something on its own site about me? Fabulous. Then, sorry, that goes through all that. Then you're going to take that biography and you're going to put it out on these 12 sites that Pantana talked about. Okay? You need to go get profiles up on all these sites if you don't. And you're going to put that biography there, because the more places that biography is found, the more likely it is to be mentioned in a snippet for an AI answer. And that's a whole lot of extra stuff that the class probably doesn't make sense right now, but if we sit through it the next time, we can work on it together. I just gave you like so much at once that it's probably not going to make sense.
Bob, on these different sites, Claude and whatever, I'm more familiar with Perplexity and ChatGPT, but like, is it just an individual thread that you put them in, or do you have to
Yeah.
put them then in your profile so that it continues to like know who you are in the future? Or
You want to use the same chat when you go back to, let's say you go back to a Gemini. You want to go back to the hello, my name is prompt chat that you did and give it the update so it remembers you, because each one of those chats doesn't necessarily remember what you told the other one.
Right.
Okay. One thing I'm running into on Claude is it will fill up. At a certain point, Claude has a limitation and you have to do a new one. So I will ask Claude, hey, write me a message to give to yourself in the next chat so you remember enough about me to keep moving on. And I think Claude
Okay,
is
but
working
yeah,
on
that
that because that
was
limitation has come up for a lot of people.
okay. And that's what I wanted to know, is like it remembers the previous chats and stuff like that. So it should remember
If
me.
you go back into the same one, it should, like ChatGPT and Gemini have been good at that. But Claude has a limiter, and after a certain amount, you have to start a new one. So I always ask it to write me a message in a bottle I can give to the next Claude so that it knows me.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I got to jump, everybody. I hope this is helpful. If you have questions, reach out to me. Good to see you all. Thank you for those who I picked on. Thank you for
Thanks,
participating.
Awesome.
Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Paul,
Tom.
good to see you, sir.
Take care.